Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Don't mind me carrying my dress form right now because the pants are on. I can't put it on my stand. But today I'm gonna show you how I made Sheeta's blouse and pants from the movie Castle in the Sky. I am releasing the pattern and pants for this look on my website if anyone wants to recreate the same look. I love this costume because it can be worn every day as well. It's not just a costume, and that's my favorite part actually. Like, look at this blouse. It has really cute puffy sleeves, a little turtleneck, and the pants are really baggy and poofy, and the bottom is actually adjustable. I put adjustable stopper at the bottom with elastic so you can wear it scrunched up or wide leg, which I love. As for the accessories, I'm not gonna go into detail on how I created that, but I did post a bunch of short series on how I made the belt and headband and etc. So if anyone is interested in seeing that, head on over to my YouTube shorts. This is actually my first official pattern that I'm releasing that we digitized and graded to be different sizes. So I hope you guys try it out, and if there's anything wrong, please let me know and feel free to ask me any questions. All right, let's get started. I made her blouse from some medium weight knit fabric, and for the first pants I used denim, but later on I recreated them using some thrifted tablecloths, which is what you see in these photos. Just make sure that whatever fabric you're using is woven and heavyweight enough to work as pants. This is the very first sample I'm making in this video, so I've made some changes to the pattern since then. Once all the pant pieces are cut out, pin each pocket bag right sides together at the side seams of each pant leg. There are notches on the pockets and pants to help you line up the pieces in the correct spot. Then sew the pockets down at a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and after that, understitch the pocket bags to keep them from sticking out. You should have 4 pant leg pieces that have pockets attached and can now face one front and one back pant leg right sides together with the pocket pieces sticking out, and evenly pin the layers together. Starting from the top, sew the side seam and around the pocket like this at a 5/8 seam allowance all the way down to the bottom. Repeat the same thing to the other side of the pants, and then sew each leg closed at the inner leg seam. Next, turn each pant leg right sides out and pin the crotch seam together. To sew the crotch seam closed, start from the center seam and then sew up one side, and then go back to the center seam to close up the other side. Like I mentioned earlier, this was my first sample, and I originally stretched and sewed the elastic waist on, but in my updated pattern, I finished the raw edges of the waist and then folded it over to create an elastic casing. This way you can slide the elastic in afterwards and adjust it to whatever size you need. Same for the bottom of the pants. I'm going to sew a casing for the elastic cording as well. I want these pants to have the option of being worn scrunched up or wide leg, so I first sewed elastic cording while hemming the pants. Starting at the side seam, you want to sandwich the cording in the fold and hem the pants as usual. Leave some elastic hanging out at the end so it doesn't get lost. And then when you get back to the starting point, leave an opening about 1 inch wide at the side seam so that both ends of the elastic are sticking out. Add your cord stopper to finish off the elastic, and now you have an adjustable hem. Moving on to the puff sleeve blouse, first sew the front and back shoulder seams together. If you're using super stretchy fabric, I recommend stabilizing your seams. My fabric wasn't super stretchy, but I added the interfacing anyways. Remember to also use a stretch stitch and a ballpoint needle when sewing with stretch fabric. Then open up the bodice so you can see the armhole is laying flat, and next gather the top of the sleeve to fit the size of the armhole. There's notches on the sleeve so you know where to gather in between, but feel free to spread your gathers out as you see fit. This is a very forgiving design to sew. Once the sleeve fits the armhole, go ahead and sew the 2 layers together with a permanent stretch stitch. Next, line up the underarm sleeve and side seams of the blouse right sides together and sew them in one go. The sleeves will have an elastic cuff at the bottom to cinch everything in and create that puff look. Grab your cuff pieces and fold each cuff in half and sew the open side closed. The size of the cuff will fit a 3/4 inch wide elastic. An important thing to know is that the size of the cuff will need to be adjusted to fit loosely around your own arm. Since everyone's arm is a different size, I left the pattern piece extra long, so make sure to shorten or extend it to fit 4 inches bigger than the circumference of your arms. For example, if your arm has a 10-inch circumference, add 4 inches and seam allowance to that so your cuff piece will be about 15 inches. Once the cuff is sewed at the side, go ahead and fold the piece in half so it's double layered, and this is optional, but you can base stitch the open side together so it stays together, and just leave a small opening to slide the elastic in later. Now you can gather the bottom of the sleeves to fit the size of the cuff and pin the cuff on right sides together to the sleeve. Sew the cuff on with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, but leave a small opening again at the same spot that the opening is at on the cuff. Grab your elastic and insert it into the cuff opening. Measure the elastic to fit snug around your arm before trimming it and sewing the ends closed. To close the opening, simply stretch and sew the cuff to the sleeve. If you have any basting stitch showing from the gathering, make sure to remove it as well. We are almost done. Grab your neckband piece and just like the cuff, fold it in half and sew the end closed first. Then with the seam pressed open, fold the neckband in half again so it's doubled layered. The neckband is going to be a couple inches smaller than the actual neckline so that it can pull the neckline in and fit nicely. This means you'll have to evenly stretch and sew it to the neckline. Take some time to pin the neckband on to make sure each section is being stretched evenly, and then you can sew it on. Lastly, hem the bottom of the blouse. I added stretch interfacing along the bottom to prevent a rippled hem. Alright, I hope this tutorial was helpful. The pattern for the blouse and pants is up on my website if you want to purchase that. I hope you try it out and let me know if there is any confusion or if you have any questions on it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!